Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Creamer. I am with Brian the Grizzly over here and Brandman Brandon. What is up?
What's happening?
What's happening? What's up?
Yeah, Christmas and winter.
Yes, exactly. And snow.
Emphasis on winter, right?
Yes. Which is a perfect time to watch another Christmas Carol version
movie. Yeah.
Yep. So we're reviewing Spirited. It's over on Apple TV right now with Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, main characters. So it is a musical. So there's that.
And we got Octavia Spencer. Yeah, Octavia Spencer. I think she'd be said with that because she's
big.
Yeah.
She's big. Yeah. But we're going to get into our likes, some of our dislikes, and then give the official Spoiler Kings rating at the end and let you know what we thought. So before we get going, make sure you hit that sub button so you know when we go live and when we post new videos. Also hit that like button so we know that you like our content, that you like our reviews that we do, that we try to give you at least once a week. With that being said, we'll start this one off with Brian giving us a quick rundown of what this one's about, and then we'll get into our discussion.
All right. Here we go. Each Christmas Eve, the ghost of Christmas Present selects one dark soul to be reformed by a visit from three spirits. But this season, he picked the wrong Scrooge. Clint Briggs turns the tables on the ghostly host until the present, because he's called the Christmas Present, finds himself re-examining his own past, present, and future. For the first time, A Christmas Carol is told from the perspective of Ghost in a hilarious musical twist on the classic Dickens tale. Not bad.
Yeah. There you go. That's exactly what it's about. Just a retelling of the Bruce Dickinson. Wrong.
Okay.
The story. So yeah, there it is. So we'll start with Brandon with some of your likes on it.
I liked the approach to it, with the whole kind of the classic Dickens tale with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future being treated as kind of more like a business rather than them kind of visiting specifically Scrooge. They're going after, kind of irredeemable. That's what they said. Irredeemable people was the word they were using.
They were going after redeemable people. They've only had two unredeemable people.
Yeah,
and Clint was one, and then someone else was the other. Before no spoilers.
Gotcha. So that was a fun idea. And the way that Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds kind of played off of each other, especially Reynolds, he has very much kind of like a natural charm that really works. And so does Octavia Spencer. So, excuse me. It did have some, they were definitely fun to watch. And musicals are always very much kind of like a hit or miss thing for me. The musicals, or like the musical numbers themselves, were entertaining enough. More on that later. I do think it was kind of a double-edged sword, but they were pretty entertaining in that regard. So it was kind of a fresh take on the classic Christmas Carol story. It was one of the fresher kind of concepts, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. What you got, Brian?
My favorite Christmas stories of all time are Christmas carols. So I like Patrick Stewart's Christmas Carol. I love Scrooged. Like, those are the things that I love. So I'm already predisposed to enjoying this type of story. I think Will Ferrell is funny. I like Ryan Reynolds a lot. His type of comedy is my type of thing. Smart aleck, quick-witted. That's the type of stuff I like watching. So I knew I was going to enjoy it once it got into the movie. So that was good. I feel like the story wasn't that bad. I thought Ryan Reynolds was the right type of person. I like the new concepts they kind of went with. So I wanted to like this a lot, and I think I liked a lot of parts of it. So that's
Well, yeah. I'm right there with you guys with liking what it wanted to do. It was definitely entertaining. Also, I liked how it was able to incorporate all the other Christmas carols in it. You know, it's like, because like this is what they do. This is their job, you know. So it's kind of interesting. They even reference Scrooge in this one, you know.
Yeah.
So and they literally bring up a Christmas Carol, like the actual, like, you know, original story, you know. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I like how like all of those movies can fall in this universe, you know. So that was kind of entertaining. Not a fan of musicals. Some of this, but the songs, some of them were really funny.
Yeah,
really funny. The one, "Good Afternoon," that one had me. That one had me rolling.
That was fun.
Yeah, because you know, then, you know, I don't want to spoil what that all is and stuff, but it kind of becomes a running joke, you know, throughout the rest of the movie after that point, which was really funny. But you know, definitely Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds played really well together. Yeah, you know, they didn't have the best chemistry I've seen on screen, but they had fun with it, I think, you know,
for sure.
And you know, I enjoyed that part of it. Also Tracy Morgan, I just love his voice, you know, and him being like the ghost of was it Future?
Future.
You know, so he's that skeleton kind of dude, and he has a voice that you know who it is right away. and he tried making up like some slogans. He goes, "You got Christmas Carol," right? You know, and he like so there's you know, there's definitely that, you know. So yeah, I liked it. A few random cameos, like very random cameos. But overall, like fairly entertaining for a musical. But Brandon, what you got about some of your dislikes?
Like I said, the musical element was a double-edged sword. I think if you're gonna make a musical, it's really, really important that you find actors that can sing. You know, Ryan Reynolds, not the greatest singer. Neither is Will Ferrell. Octavia Spencer, her singing voice didn't really work for me at all either.
Do you not see Step Brothers? You know how good a singer Will Ferrell is?
It's like a Fergie and Jesus had to be.
I think the movie was a little too reliant on Reynolds and Ferrell kind of playing off each other so well, to the point where sometimes it kind of felt like a little too in your face and a little too oversaturated in that regard. The whole kind of the balance between like the comedic and dramatic elements kind of felt a little uneven at times, I think. You know, it's kind of, you know, 1 minute we have, you know, oh, Will Ferrell's doing his Will Ferrell thing. Oh, Ryan Reynolds is doing his Ryan Reynolds thing. Oh, ex-comedians doing their comedian thing, and then boom, something serious happens. I think in A Christmas Carol, in other iterations of A Christmas Carol, there was a little more of a balance between the serious and even kind of dark humor elements, like for example, like Scrooged. You know,
see, you guys compared it to Scrooge, and that's not fair.
You know, if
it's the same story, so
yeah, when it comes to like any iteration of A Christmas Carol, the comparisons are pretty much inevitable. But I'd say I'd say those were my top two things that didn't really work for me. Sometimes it didn't 100% know what it wanted to be. Did it want to be a musical? Did it want to be a comedy? Did it want to be a dramedy? So it didn't really have a clear idea as to what it wanted to be.
Yeah, I can see that. What about you, Brian?
All right. First off, I hate musicals. Hate them. The first half an hour was very hard for me to watch. It didn't hold my attention, but once it started getting rolling, for me, it was like a snowball going downhill, and I was enjoying it more and more and more and more as we went along. I thought the story started to make sense. Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds kind of started to mesh together better. everything started to fall in place. I thought they wrote it differently, and I liked the way they're going. I just they couldn't pull it off. The musical part was the part they couldn't pull off, because there's just some actresses and actors that can't sing, and it's hard to pull those things off. I didn't care for a lot of the other characters, like the mother, the daughter, the niece. I didn't care about some of those characters, and it didn't balance very well. I think that's probably his biggest problem for me. I felt like the other characters didn't matter. But besides the slow start and me not caring about the ancillary characters, it was okay. And I thought the ending was pretty cool, and it made perfect sense at the end. And and I liked the curveball they threw in with who Will Ferrell really was. So I enjoyed that. So, but that's the only real bad things I had for it.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Like I'm not a musical fan, but I can appreciate when they're done well. This one wasn't done well. Like the even as we're watching it, my girlfriend said, like, I don't like modern musicals. And I was like, I get it. Why? Because they weren't really singing. They were kind of singing, that kind of like talking on a beat kind of thing. Especially Octavia Spencer. She's great actress, does great stuff. Comedy, serious, scary. I think she was in Ma, I think, or she was like really good in that. But when it came to like singing, it was just like, oh no. But that was everybody.
No good singing here.
But that was everybody. Like Will Ferrell. That's what it really got me too. Is like Will Ferrell was made fun of the way he was singing when he was on SNL. You know what I mean? Like that was like a thing. Like he would be this like different, like that one singer. I can't remember his name, but he would like be exaggerated and goofy. I was like, but that's how he actually sings. That's him. But on the flip side, like Brandon was saying, it's a double-edged sword. Like the songs were kind of funny, but man, they did not sound good, which sucks. So yeah, that was definitely there. And then also, I don't think they couldn't figure out who the story was for. You know what I mean? Like, they were trying to like, oh, this is about you. Like, oh no, it's about you. And it's like, and it was just them. Yeah, I didn't mind that, but it was a little too much.
Well, I realized that because they were the same thing. They're both. That's why I understood that they're both unredeemable. That's why I was like, oh, that's why it's going back and forth, because they're both. The story is very similar to each other. So, and it kind of made that connection with each other. That's what they're trying to,
they were trying to. It didn't work for me because like Ryan Reynolds' character, I feel was like bad, but I don't know. Just he didn't feel that bad. I mean, they definitely show him do messed up stuff. He did some messed up stuff, but also he didn't do anything that 90% of every politician does. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't do anything that like 90% of every CEO does. It was like, so he's just Elon Musk wrapped up.
What did Scrooge do? That was.
I mean, he literally like took food off of somebody's plate, like Scrooge, like the original story.
Took money,
fired people. Like,
and what did Elon Musk?
It's Christmas.
Do? Well, what do CEOs do all the time? He was exactly the same story, but just in modern times.
Yeah, I don't know. It just maybe because we're all like, I don't know. I felt like desensitized with it because all the effed up stuff, companies do. Where you're like, oh, that's normal,
Exactly.
That's the part we live in.
Same thing he did.
I don't know. Yeah,
but I do understand if you don't like him going back and forth with the story, I could definitely understand. But it was obvious that he was going to take over for him. Like that's what they're trying to get at. Like it's obvious that we're going to give you a second chance at life, and you're going to take over the story for it.
Yeah. The best part of the whole movie was definitely the ending. The final third act, just like the of it was really great. But the one thing that like was like really got me was when Jacob, who's like the leader of the group, told him, he goes, "Yeah, you learned your lesson, but what's a lesson without a consequence?" And I was like, "Oh, that's deep.
Yeah,
that's deep." I liked that.
Dropped the mic, and he was like, "All right, got it."
I liked that. I was like, "That's really, really well done," you know. And I feel like that should be like, you know, like the whole thing is like, yeah, I learned my lesson. Yay, I get to go live on and be a millionaire and you know, live in my office on the 38th floor and shit like that. You know, but he's like, but you know, there's consequences to learning your lesson. I was like, I did really appreciate that. But yeah, you know, there's some things that didn't quite hit. Sometimes the graphics were kind of off, like the weird green screen. Oh, there's another thing. I didn't like that it was a musical, but it was also trying to be on stage with the lights.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, are you Cats being recorded, or are you trying to be like The Greatest Showman where you're trying to do a movie? Are you trying to do a movie, or are you trying to do a stage play? You know, and it was trying to do both, and I didn't care for it.
That's a really good peak right
very
there.
very theatrical and kind of
like literal spotlights.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, that was, I'm like, if you're gonna make a movie musical, then make a movie. If you're gonna do a play, then be on stage and do the play.
It was a goofy A Christmas Carol. It was very goofy, and sometimes you're in a mood for goofiness, but you still want to have a Christmas feel. And I think it hit the Christmas feel. I just don't think the movie could have been done better, but it hit the Christmas feel. When at the end of the movie, I got my feelings, so that was good.
Yeah. Anything else, spoiler wise or not spoiler wise, or we'll just open up full spoilers if you have anything to say about it before we move on.
I think that's mostly it for me. Production value was great. It was a very nice looking movie, as with most musicals. But
hey, minute 40 to hour 42 was good for me. That hour was good for me. Yeah. The time before that and the time after, I was like, okay, whatever. It's not over yet.
Right at the end. I mean, one thing, like this literally plays all the way through the credits.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's still songs and stuff on screen.
And that's what I'm talking about. Credits. I was like, after the story was over, I was like, all right, we can end this movie now.
Yeah. All right. But let's move on to our ratings. So here at Spoiler Kings, we do things a little different than everyone else. We keep it nice and simple. We do now, later, never. Now means drop what you're doing, go check it out. It is worth it. Later means you can wait to your, few weeks later while you're doing dishes, throwing on in the background. And that never means just skip it. It's not worth killing the brain cells. That being said, Brian, well, what we've been doing, Brandon, what you think?
I'd say this is, especially during the holiday season, if you absolutely have to watch this, if you're looking for something new, I'd still put this kind of on the side of later. And, it's not really anything that you have to watch right away. There's much better Christmas movies you could be watching. Watch the new Christmas Story first, I'd say. Before this is like later, this is further down the list. Even if you're a musical enthusiast, it's really not even anything you have to rush out to watch. Even if you love Christmas movies, it's nothing you really need to rush out to watch. And if you absolutely have to, I would just say later.
Okay. What you got, Brian?
All right. So if I was ranking my Christmas movies of all-time great Christmas movies, this is not going to be something I'm ever going to watch. But if you get a chance to watch it, it's okay. So I'm going to give it a later for this season. If it's out of the season, it's a never. So if you're not doing Christmas time, there's no need to ever watch it.
Absolutely.
But during the Christmas time, I'll give it a later.
Yeah. Man, for me, this started as a never. Going into like you said, like the first 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, oh man, this is bad. But if you can stick through that, and then mid to the end of the movie is fun, and for that I'll give it a later. because it was fun. Some of the songs were hard to listen to, but were funny. I think especially my favorite was "Good Afternoon." By far, that's probably the best song in the entire movie. It was funny. I think that was the where they spent all their money on, with singing lessons and stuff. There's even a tap dance scene in it.
Yeah.
Because
so how did you know how to do that? How did you? I just followed you.
I was waiting for like a Hugh Jackman reference or something like that. Like, oh, he's not the only one that could do that. Yeah, but he does it much, much better. Much better.
I didn't even stop to think about that.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
The one guy at the party that was dressed up as Elf.
Elf sure did, because they lingered on him for a good minute. Will Ferrell and him.
Yeah, that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely a later. You don't have to. I mean, if you're done watching Rudolph and Scrooge and Frosty and all the good ones, you can put this on late night.
Mm-hmm.
While people are hungover and drinking. So but it's fun. It's fun. But cool, man. Anything else? Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. What do we got to check out? What do you guys think about that? Where do you think Rotten Tomatoes is going to put this movie?
I'm going to guess
55, maybe.
I'm going to go 68.
So the tomato meter is at 69 it's only 106 reviews. So
really,
right there. Yeah. So it's on Apple TV Plus, which a lot of people don't have. Usually Apple TV puts out some really good stuff. Mm-hmm. This is probably my least favorite Apple TV thing.
Wasn't it by the director of the thing that you like? Was that one you did the review of?
The director was Sean Anders.
Yeah, he's done a lot of comedy.
Oh, he did the one that you liked. The review you did. Insecure or something like that?
Insecure.
I know he did like Daddy's Home 1 and 2.
Yeah, he did Daddy's Home. That's My Boy. Horrible Bosses. Hot Tub Time Machine. Did you Hot Tub Time Machine? That might be his first one. Sex Drive was awesome. That was very underrated kind of movie. We're the Millers. I think he did.
The Millers. Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about.
What's the one that you did the review
of? See, I did Severance. I thought Severance. Oh yeah, no way. I don't think so. I don't think he did Severance. That's very serious.
It said something about Severance, though. I don't know, whatever. Because on the business,
it's Apple TV.
That, so that's why I'm like, yeah, Ben Stiller did Severance, so I don't know.
Yeah. Adam Scott was big into that one. And definitely check out.
Yeah.
Definitely check out Severance if you want to see a good Apple TV program. But just really didn't care too much for it. What surprised me more is the audience score, 79. The audience gave it a 79, which is
but you just gotta know what it is. You going in knowing. I mean, it's a Dumb and Dumber Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it's taking the story and just being very, very loose and silly with it. I knew that going in. Obviously, with Will Ferrell, he just really doesn't do serious movies. I guess neither does Ryan Reynolds anymore. It's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds.
It's much easier.
Yeah. He doesn't have to put too much work into it. I'm surprised there's not a Mint Mobile freaking ad in the middle of the. It wasn't too bad, but 79 with the audience was kind of crazy. 69, so not too bad.
70. It's only probably 100 people that actually watched it.
It's only 100 plus, so not that many. 100 plus reviews on it for the audience. And then like same thing with the critics. So yeah, nothing. No one has said anything we haven't already said about this movie. Good and bad. So, it is what it is.
Nice to know that everyone's pretty much unanimous on it, right?
Yeah. Like you said, man, you put those two guys together, you kind of know what movie you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get anything crazy. You're not gonna get anything that's gonna suck too bad. But
no, it was something.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. But cool. Anything else, guys?
Is it your least favorite Christmas Carol?
That's a good question. Because I think still my favorite Christmas Carol is probably Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's my third favorite one. That's my third favorite.
Up there with it.
I'd put it. I'd probably rank it alongside the CG animated motion capture Christmas Carol.
I hated that one.
With Jim Carrey?
Yeah, that one just didn't do a whole lot for me.
I hated that one.
Yeah, that was when Robert Zemeckis was still in his motion capture phase, and just too much dead-eyed uncanny valley for me.
That is true. It is true. That one was a little bad.
Yeah, I'd probably put this alongside that one.
Yeah, this is definitely towards the bottom. Definitely towards the bottom for me. I mean, there's so, like you said, there's so freaking many. There's so many.
Yeah.
But it's out of a lot of the ones I've seen, it's down there. I don't think I'm ever gonna rewatch it again.
No, I could do without doing that.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
But real quick, so since we are talking about this, we were gonna play a game. What's everyone's favorite Christmas Carol rendition? What you got, Brandon?
Patrick Stewart. I love the Patrick Stewart one.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, I love
over Scrooged.
Yep.
Really? I thought you were gonna say Scrooge for sure.
I can't have he's too much sometimes. Bill Murray sometimes too much for me. I can always watch A Christmas Carol, the 1999 version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon? Favorite one?
Muppet.
Probably the Muppet Christmas Carol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
See, for me, it's neck and neck with the Scrooge and the Muppets. Because like if I watch one, I gotta watch the next one like right after, because it's the same story but very, very, very different. So
it's a lot darker than Scrooge.
Yeah, Scrooge is. But it's also Bill Murray, and I love Bill Murray. But like I do get what you're saying. He is.
I have to be in the mood. I have to be in the mood for Bill Murray to be able to enjoy as much as I want
with it. Yeah. But the Muppet one is one that we usually watch almost every year for sure. So, but cool. I think that's it from us here. So let you guys know, thank you guys for watching the review. Leave a comment, let us know what you thought about Spirited if you checked it out. Also let us know what your favorite version of the Christmas Carol is. Is it any of the three that we picked, or do you have a different one? There's the other one with
the 1970 version is really good too. It's really a very good one.
There's that McConaughey one, Ghost of Girlfriend's Past.
I forgot all about that one.
It's a version of it too. Yeah. So like you said, there is a ton of these movies made. So let us know which one's your favorite. But thank you guys. Make sure you hit that sub button so you know when we go live. We go live every Monday and Thursday, and we post daily with a bunch of different stuff. And make sure you hit that like button so we know you like what we are doing here with these reviews. But that is it from us Spoiler Kings. For myself, Brian, and Brandon, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next review.
Later. Thanks, guys.
See ya. Thank you, everyone.